Hello, my name is Jay Bear, and welcome back. This is episode 28 of my survival series. And I don't know if you can hear, but there is a drowned gurgling around. I can see on my mini map that he's somewhere right here. I have a water tunnel here. Huh. I don't see him in there. And now I just put a hole in my floor. The slab went over into my bone meal system. Let me get that. All right, so I got the slab. One thing I haven't shown yet is I keep overflowing on bone meal. I've got so much coming in that I've just been turning it into bone blocks. And then I just take and dump them in this chest here. So that'll buy me some time. Let's do some more. It's a lot of bone meal. I probably have a bit more than I really need. But that's okay. It's kind of a good problem to have. But anyway, I'm looking for this drowned that is hiding over here. I don't know where he is. Anyway, we'll worry about him later. Because I was going down to the creeper farm. If you remember in the last episode, I built a creeper farm down under here. And I did some work. Oh, there he is. He's picking up my bone meal. Let's get rid of that guy. Oh, he just went up the water. Anyway, we won't worry about him right now. So I spent some time working on this in between episodes. It wasn't producing very well. So I went around I went, let's see, let me turn on mini HUD here. And as you can see, it shows the light levels. So I went around to all the caves in the spawning sphere that is up above this. So let's go back up top. Let me show you. Okay, so I built a platform up there directly above the center of the creeper farm. And I figured out exactly where it needed to be based on where the bottom of the creeper farm was. And then everywhere else that was inside of this spawning sphere that's underground, I went and lit up. So that way, the only place anything can spawn when I'm standing up there is in here. I did have a little trouble with some spiders spawning, and I think I still have that happening. So I did go around and I widened the area all around it, so that way spiders will get just washed down into the system and they'll die, and I'll just get some spider eyes and some string. And that's okay, I can use those too. But I should not be getting any skeletons and zombies in here. I really don't need them spawning in this. So I have done a little bit of AFKing, and we're going to go see how much gunpowder we have. All right, so up there is my AFK platform, and that's where I've been standing. I was there for, I think, 2 hours the other day, and then I was there for 4 hours or so today. So let's see what we have as far as gunpowder goes. Now, when I first started, I had like 10, 11 stacks, maybe 11 and a half stacks. Wow. It was filled up to like about here before. Okay, that is a lot of gunpowder. And let's see how we're doing on sugarcane, because that is another important ingredient for rockets. And I did do this too, as I gave it a spot over here because it was in this chest, and this was just not enough to hold it all. It was starting to overflow. As we can see, we've already filled up these 3 chests nearly, well, over halfway. So I've got 1.5 double chests. That is a lot of sugarcane. I also did a little bit more work back in here. I was having a problem with items not making it all the way through the system. They were getting held up back here in one of these hoppers, and I found that I had a torch missing. Once I put that torch back in place, everything started flowing through, and now the system is working correctly again. Oh, no, it wasn't a torch that was missing. It was, the torch was there, but it was on the back of a stair block up there, and a redstone signal couldn't pass through the stair block. And so it was holding things up. Once I fixed that, everything started flowing. But anyway, now that we've got all of this sugarcane, and we've got all of that gunpowder, let's make some rockets. Alright, there we go. I finally have rockets. It's almost nighttime. But let's go ahead and take off here. There we go. First time flying above my base. It's going to be so much easier to get around this way. Just to be able to quickly fly everywhere. And it's nice to be able to finally see things from up above as well. So this is my platform right here. I need to do something to make this look nicer. Oh, I'm going to miss. Can I land on the scaffolding? No, I can't. I guess I'm going to need to maybe do something to all of my platforms that are up real high and make a bigger area that I can more easily land on. There we go. I made it. So I was just standing inside of this stone box just to let the creepers spawn down there. So if right now, since we're up here, right now, the only place they can spawn is down there in the creeper farm. Well, so I think what I'm going to do in this episode, because this sugarcane farm is very, very productive. I've got way more sugarcane than I ever expected to get, and probably more than I'm going to need. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to include some bamboo in here as well. Not a lot of it. Maybe I'll just take some of the spots here in the middle, or maybe I could just replace the torches with bamboo. Maybe I'll do that, because then I will also be automatically harvesting bamboo once a day. I don't use a lot of bamboo, but I do tend to misplace my scaffolding, and so it'd be nice to have as much bamboo as I need readily available, and I don't need to plant that many because they do grow so fast. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do that first. Alright, so bamboo has been placed in here among the sugarcane, and I'm curious how much it's going to grow in one day, because it does grow pretty quickly. Like you can see, some of these have already grown up one block, and it did just run and harvested the sugarcane while I was standing here just a few minutes ago. So it will run again pretty quickly here. And you can see we've already got some bamboo that has grown up. Yeah, so it is growing pretty quickly. So I think what I'm going to do first in this episode is I'm going to make some changes to this. I definitely don't want just a stack of scaffolding and an AFK room up there that's just made out of stone blocks like I have it. I want something that kind of makes sense. I mean, I guess this doesn't really make sense either. It's just kind of a floating platform with some water elevators connected to it. But this is directly on top of my building here. And so I'm going to try to think of something that I can do with this that kind of makes sense to have way up on top of a building like this. Like maybe some type of giant antenna, or some type of industrial chute or platform or something. I don't know. I'm going to figure something out, but I also want to make a little bit of a landing pad here as well to make it a little bit easier for me to land on when I come up here. And I should probably do the same thing with my nether portal and my slime farm. Even though I don't use the slime farm very much anymore because I AFK'd there for a couple hours and I got all the slime that I'll probably ever need. But I should probably just do it to each of these things. So I think that's what I'm going to work on next in this episode. So I've been thinking long and hard about what I can do to make an AFK spot right up here that isn't just a blob of stone on top of scaffolding. I've flown around and looked at this spot from various angles. And one thing I have determined is that it is too tall to build something from down here. I thought about some type of industrial tower. I thought about a water tower or just... I even looked up on Google, like various industrial tower type things. Big giant smokestacks and water towers and then just platforms, iron platforms going up. And everything that I looked at, it's like, yeah, there are some cool ideas, but they're just too tall for this little tiny building down here. So I'm going to build something that looks like it should be floating in the sky, and that is going to be a helicopter. So I'm going to put a helicopter right here, and you may have seen, if you watch my creative videos, you may have seen that I've built a helicopter on the creative server I play on, and there's one that I really like, and so I'm going to use that design, and I'm going to bring it over here. Well, I'm not going to bring it over here. I'm going to rebuild it over here and make myself an AFK spot right up here. So I'm going to gather up the materials and get started on that. All right, it may not look like it, but inside of this shulker box right here next to me, there's a helicopter. Let me show you. See? There's a helicopter. Anyway, I've gathered up all of the materials that I need in order to build the helicopter up here. So I'm going to attempt to fly up here. Oh, I'm lagging a little bit here. There we go. I already took away the stone up here. And so I'm going to create a nice big platform of scaffolding and dirt or stone or something. That way, as I'm working on this thing, I won't fall off. Although I guess if I fall off, I can fly with my elytra, but still, it'd be a lot easier if I don't fall off. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to get started on this helicopter. Well, hello there. I'm just flying along in my private helicopter here up above my base. So I have it all put together here. Let's see. I've got some seats I can sit in. When I go flying around, I can have some place to steer from. And I've got a bed that I can sleep, chest I can store my stuff in. And then this is the way I get in. So let me step outside. So to get out, put on your parachute or your elytra, and you just walk right out. There it is. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I did need to make some changes from how I had built it in creative, because I had some iron trapdoors and I also had sea lanterns. I have no sea lanterns, and I can't put iron trapdoors on the side without world edit unless they are powered somehow, and there was no way to power these. So I used, what is that, acacia? I think that looks good. And so I can land up on top of it up here. And whoops, not like that. So I'm pretty good at landing up on top. I missed that time, but I think we'll still be able to get it. Maybe? Nope. Here we go, coming in for a landing. There we go, got it. So I can land up here on the propellers. Sometimes I smack my face into this part here, and then I can come down right here, click that button, and jump right down inside. And this is my AFK spot right here by the controls up front. That's right where I need to be to make the creeper farm function. So I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. My first ever build up in the sky while playing on survival. And I also did make a couple other changes from how this looked in my creative world as well. I had nether brick slabs on the bottom, and I changed that out for blackstone. And I also used blackstone walls for these supports here instead of dark oak fences. So I did make some changes to it. And I also had to light it up a little bit more too, just to make sure I don't have mobs spawning up here, because I did have a couple dark spots. These spots, I put these end rods here and on the I don't know, what do you call the things that it uses to land? These things, skis. This was dark as well, so I had to put some glowstone. So I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. And I think I'm going to do something up here for this as well. But I do still want the bubble elevator to come up here to this portal. Just because sometimes I might want to bring the donkey with me. That way I can still have the bubble elevator to get him up. So I don't know. I'm going to have to think about this one. Maybe I'll do this in another episode, because I don't have time in this episode to complete this. So I think for the remainder of this episode, I'm going to take care of a little problem that I have. And this is kind of an odd problem to be having. I have almost out of cobblestone. Of all things to actually be running out of, it's cobblestone. And you use it in a lot of things. You know, when you make pistons and observers and droppers and dispensers and all of those types of things, you use cobblestone to make all that. So I've been planning on building a cobblestone generator, and I was thinking it would go like over here, and then I would use the same TNT chamber. But I'm kind of changing my mind. I do still want to use the same TNT chamber, but what I'm thinking is that maybe it can generate right up here above and then just get pushed down into here. I don't know. I'm going to have to try this out and see how close maybe I'll do some testing on it on a creative world to see how close the cobblestone needs to be to the TNT to be blown up. And I'll see if I can just build the generator right up there and have it pushed down. I just have to make sure that it does not interfere with the tree farm here. So I think that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to work on that next. Alright, so I am up on top of the tree harvesting building here, where the TNT chamber is. And I have built most of a cobblestone generator. I have not placed lava in place yet, so I'm going to do that now. And hopefully this goes okay. So, let's see. It should go right here. And we should get lava that's forming directly under the pistons. Perfect. Okay, so now I'm going to turn this on, and then we're going to quickly run down inside. Eventually, I'm going to hook this up so that there's only one lever. It's the one here and the one inside that I have to turn both of them on. All right, so let's take a look. Let's see what's happening here. Uh-oh. I've made a mistake. That's supposed to be a sticky piston. Let me fix this. Alright, sticky piston is in place. Is this working now? There it goes. Okay. It's generating cobblestone. And we should get to a point where this stops because it can only push 12 blocks at once. Probably almost there. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so it stops there. Now let's go down inside the blast chamber and take a look at what this looks like. Okay, this should be stopping even with the... Yeah, okay, perfect. That's exactly what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to stop right even with the obsidian block. So now, if I go over here, and I'm getting a little laggy here. Maybe I've got too much stuff all running at once. If I turn this on, hopefully it's all okay, because I did have to mess around up there a little bit around the TNT duper. So let's see what happens. Uh-oh. Oh, there it goes. Okay. TNT is kind of invisible. I think it's just a little bit of lag that I'm having. But that's working. I'm seeing cobblestone dropping over there. Alright, let's turn this off. Is it safe? Oh, okay, there we go. Now it's safe. Alright, so that's working. And it pushes more cobblestone into place. Awesome. Now, one thing I'm going to need to do here that I can see is I'm going to need to expand the water streams over a little bit and work on this to make sure that it catches all of the cobblestone. But this is working. I'm pretty happy about that. This is the first time I've ever made a cobblestone generator like this. And yeah, it's working out pretty good. And with that successful test of the cobblestone generator, that's all I have time for in this episode. So, did a couple things here. Built a helicopter that I can stand AFK up above my creeper farm. We built, well, not really built a bamboo farm. We added bamboo to the sugarcane farm. That was pretty easy. We built a cobblestone generator. And is that it? Is that all I did in this episode? I can't remember. It's been so many things going on. But anyway, like I said, that's all I have time for in this episode. So if you like this episode, please leave a like and a comment. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I'll see you next time.